Number 57 on your practice final exam. Identify the polynomial function has zeros at -2, 1, and -1 that matches the graph below. So what we're going to do is we know that there's zeros. Okay, these are all, let me list the following that are all synonyms with each other when we look at this. Okay, we talked about this in chapter 2 a little bit. Zeros, solutions, and one other one I want to talk about, factors. Okay, if I know there's a 0 at -2, I also know that there's a solution at -2, and I also know there's that x plus 2 is a factor of my polynomial. X plus 2 can be factored out. So let's do that same idea here. We have 1 is a 0, a solution is 1, a factor here is x minus 1. Same thing goes here, -1, -1x plus 1. So again, what happens here is these are factors of my function right here, because if I had this right here and it equaled 0, then yes, that all of those -1 would be an answer, 1 would be an answer, -2 would also be an answer. But what I have here is this is my function here, and I know that when I evaluate my function at f of x equals 0, those are possible zeros, solutions, or factors. So this is my equation. This is going to be f of x right here. Okay, to solve for f. Now we want to find f of x. All we're going to do is we're going to FOIL this out. Let's go ahead and do this one. Let's multiply these two first. X minus 1 times x plus 1. X minus 1 times x plus 1. That's a difference of two squares, right? They're the same terms. One's negative, one's positive. X squared minus 1 squared was just 1. I'm just pointing out it's a difference of two squares. Okay, and then we would FOIL this again. So we have x cubed minus x plus 2x squared minus 2. Let's write this in standard form. So I have x squared plus 2x squared minus x minus 2. And that is C. Okay, please look at the difference between C and D here. How it could have been possible that the answer was D. How do I know it was C instead of D? Can you see how all of them just had the signs that are switched? Well, I have to look at the graph here. If you remember, we need to look, if we want to know the left end behavior and the right end behavior of the graph. Okay, for this problem, the left end behavior is going to negative infinity. The right end behavior is going towards positive infinity. That one would be C. If it was D, it would have to look exactly the opposite. It would have to be the left end behavior was going towards negative infinity, so it would look something like this. Let's see. Okay, the left end behavior would go towards positive infinity, and the right end behavior would be going towards negative infinity. Let's draw that with a different pencil so you can see the difference here. Well, I guess you can get a good enough picture of what I'm trying to do here. So again, you can see the difference is that if it was to be D, it would have had we would have looked at the left end behavior and the right end behavior. Okay, but for C, the left end behavior was negative infinity, the right end behavior was positive infinity. So that's why that one was the solution. Again, you're looking at degrees and you're looking at that leading coefficient, whether it's positive, negative. If that seems familiar, that's I believe in questions 54 and 55. Yes, 54 and 55 have problems very similar to that. So you better know how to do 54 and 55 and be comfortable with number 57 there.